the cloud. There we go. We're recording now. So, would you like to just share? So we've done it. We've done about how many sessions we've done now? 3. We've done 3 sessions. This is the 4th today. Yeah.
This is 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your feedback? What's your experience?
So what I wanted to share with you was that prior to the sessions, I was having really so much trouble self-regulating and not being able to understand what was going on with myself, as in reflecting on what was happening to me and feeling my emotions. So I didn't really know what my emotions were. And now I'm actually able to kind of disconnect from that whole fight-flight feeling and be more regulated and more understanding of myself and reflect back of what was going on for me before, so I can actually think about things and understand where I'm at and why I was where I was at. And so with some of the sessions, when we've done what I would say is extreme work on what was causing the emotional distress, which was the situation with my mum today.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just feel completely free of it, disconnected from that trauma, I guess, is how you would put it. So I'm actually able to move more into working on my personal growth. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've still got a little bit of work to do because obviously there's quite a lot of layers, isn't there? But we've desensitized so much of the future.
That's the word.
Desensitized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I loved it the way you put that in your post. There was something you wrote that really resonated with me, which was you talked about desensitizing and the problem not being the problem, and then you mentioned about imprinting.
Mm-hmm.
Was it imprinting?
Yeah, it leaves its mark on the amygdala. Yeah. That was
like a penny
emotion.
Dropped.
Yeah, it's the emotion that leaves the mark on the amygdala. It's actually not the event; it's the emotion surrounding the event. And that's why you found that we've worked on things. No, we haven't worked. You've had a relief from certain events that we've actually not worked on, because it's not the event that's triggered you. It's the memory of an emotion. Now, although each event will have left its own stamp, because they all have a different landscape, but the common denominator is the original emotions from way back. Because we've dealt with a lot of those, we've desensitized so much of that moving forward. So then when you're thinking about things that would normally get you quite upset, it's not as triggering, because those AMPA receptors are not on high alert anymore. They're pushed in.
It brings a certain calmness.
Yeah.
And it brings a certain feeling of being able to think more clearly. Honestly, Kate, I have lived in a fog for so long of actually I can't see 2 feet in front of my face, literally. Like everything's been in a haze. And now, like even after just now, like doing self-regulation that we've discussed, i.e. breath work, yoga, exercise, yes, I become clearer with that. But right now, sitting here, I've just looked over at some flowers my daughter bought me, and they're so close to me. They're so clear and crisp, and I'm present. I'm totally present. And that what we've just done now has made me realize how much more present I am than I was before our meeting tonight. Even
Yeah.
though I'd become more present from previous,
Yeah.
I'm now everything's crisper and clearer in my sight. Like, hello.
Yeah, it's slowly peeling back those layers. I mean, obviously, although we've had progression each time, we've peeled back, we've dealt with another layer each time. And every time we deal with another layer, it becomes more clear.
Sometimes I think I don't know what you're doing as well. I'm like, why is she doing that? Like, I understand now the counting and the taking my brain into that different area. But then I couldn't understand the connection. I didn't really understand the connection between a joyful feeling with Bonnie and then cutting a cord of my mother when I was standing there with Bonnie. But you know what you're doing.
That's all I've done there is I got your system used to feeling that joy. That joy was safe. It's okay for me to feel that joy.
Right.
And the very thing that was holding you back, we don't want to send your mum away. We just want that negative feeling to go away. The negative feeling that's holding you back. So we got your system used to that feeling, that joyful feeling, that laughter, that acceptance, that enoughness. And then we got that cord that was holding you back, cut it, reconnected with that and that joyful feeling again. That's exactly what we did. And then I got you to join with connect with your younger self.
And that was lovely. I have to say that joining that cord with my child self and telling her how wonderful, and encouraging her and being with her in the way that I do with Amber actually was really cool.
So what would you say to anybody, considering we are doing this from we're different ends of the world?
Yeah, what would I say? Sorry.
What would you say to anybody who is suffering with any anxiety or experienced any trauma in their life? What would you say to them that's feeling stuck?
Okay, so there's two things. One would be havening is definitely the way to go, because I've done a lot of therapy, different therapies, and nothing's touched it. So havening is just wonderful and gentle, and Kate, you're really understanding and really caring in the way that you go about it all. And also the fact that I'm in New Zealand and you're in the UK, and we're on different time zones apart from anything else. Technology is fantastic, and the fact that I don't need to be in an actual room with you to actually get this done is wonderful. Because if it weren't for all of this, I would never even be able to do it, because I don't know how our paths crossed, but it's been like a divine intervention.
Yeah.
But Zoom, I'd just say to anybody, just get on with it. Jump on Zoom, get with Kate, do the work.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
It is. It's life-changing. It's, seen it. Seeing the difference. You because you were really struggling, weren't you, in the beginning? But I say now the difference in you is just, it's like
every
a light
time.
bulb. Like a light bulb. I know we've had progress from each one, but I think over the last two, certainly, it's like just a light bulb's gone off. Because although there will have been, we will have had improvement, but it is for you to see the significant impact and feel it. I think we've needed those last two to really.
I think it's taken me out of victim mode. I think I was very much a victim, and I think now I'm not. I'm feeling, because of the disconnection, or I'm not sure what that word was we used before. Anyway, I don't, because I'm not caught up in those emotions and feelings and trauma, I feel empowered.